right, guys, welcome back to the Attitude Podcast. My name's Cooper Caskey, your host. I'm here with.
Michael Gronowski.
Braden Wheeler.
And Dustin Arnold.
All right, today we are gonna do kind of a deep dive into like a really. I like this band a lot. I know Dustin loves it.
I love this.
It might be his favorite band of all time. Green Day.
Love it. Love Green Day. You cannot go wrong.
Love me some Green
They're
Day.
a very versatile band.
Very.
A lot of different stuff they got going on and different albums and stuff, and they really,
When I'm sad and I want to like change the mood into not sadness, I put on Green Day.
Exactly.
They're just one of those bands that kind of just makes you, feel some type
Makes
of
you
way.
feel better about your situation. A lot of their songs kind of hit the
Yes.
teenage personnel, and it's just kind of like
Yeah, it's like
there's so many things that come with it. Just being dramatic and all sorts of stuff.
it can make you feel heard.
Green Day has a
Yeah.
large variety.
Very.
It reaches out to many different people, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
80% of them are useless twats.
All
Literally.
right. Okay, so we're gonna start off with Dookie. All right, this is a great album, one of their first ones, and so starting. What, you think it's funny?
Dookie.
Album's Dookie.
Starting off with Dookie. This is honestly one of their most popular songs, Basket Case.
Mm.
And so this starts you off strong in Dookie, and it kind of shows the type of album you're going to be getting into. And I would classify this album based off of Basket Case and a few other songs like FOD and All By Myself as more of kind of that indie punk.
Softer.
Maybe, yeah, it's like a soft grunge. And it really sets the band up for what they'll do in their next albums.
Mhm.
But I enjoy a more of an indie sound, more of a soft sound. So I like this
Mhm.
album a lot. Well, a lot of people feel different ways about this album. What do y'all think?
I personally, so Dookie's not my favorite album. I'd have to say, I know like the huge fans would hate me for saying this, but I think American Idiot's my favorite.
It's a good
Only
album.
because like it's not like I just like, oh my gosh, this is such a good song. No, there's like so much meaning and depth behind just honestly all of their songs, but I don't know. I'd have to say American Idiot. That's
Yeah.
my favorite album.
And we'll get into the American Idiot later. But so we're gonna move on, and as this band progresses in their lifetime, and as they release newer albums, they get more they get to more of an extreme type of grunge, and it's a harder punk rock
A
feeling.
little more
that,
twisted.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just it kind of, if you're looking for it, it really hits that spot. And so in Insomniac, there's only really one song that I was looking at here that had that punk rock, like extreme like punk rock feeling. And it was Brain Stew.
Oh yeah.
I love Brain Stew. Brain Stew
The
is a
angst.
good song.
the angst that comes out of that
Like
song.
that.
Yeah,
Dun-dun. Dun-dun.
Yeah.
Like you know immediately. You know
Mhm.
immediately.
just
like,
starts off strong.
I'm having trouble trying to sleep.
And
Yeah.
it makes for great TikTok edits.
It does.
But I mean, this is a song I listen to like
But no.
weekly.
Yeah, it's a hit for sure. I think that's
It's one of their most popular songs.
it's what helped kind of helped them blow up a little more.
Yeah.
And then they
Yeah.
blew up a ton around early 2000s. Like they were popular in the 90s and whatnot, but that's when they really blew up was
Dude,
the early
that's the
2000s.
kind of song I put on though before I like lose my crap. It's like my last like catch all before I just
Yeah.
freak out.
it's,
So,
it's
like-
your safety net,
so
and
it's
if you
like-
fall through that, there's nothing.
so it's like pre-crash out music.
Yeah.
yeah,
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
pre-crash out.
Gotta stop. Gotta what's it? Damage control. You know.
Damage
Like,
Yeah.
So the album they released 2 years later, Nimrod, also it bleeds even more into this angsty, grungy feeling that a lot of people are attracted to. Some big songs I liked in this album was "Good Riddance."
hmm
I know there's also
Always amazing.
another very popular song, but
That's one where they keep it soft. It's a deep meaning, like all their others. It's dramatic,
yeah,
There's a violin playing towards the end ish, just to
Uh-huh.
get that little extra touch. It's not something I really ever expected out of Green Day, and I can't say that like I was there when it came out. But when I first started listening to them and I heard that, I was like, I know this song, but like this is Green Day.
It
That's
it
crazy.
honestly catches you by surprise because you listen to the rest of the album and it's pretty hardcore rock, and you get to Good Riddance and it's like, oh, is this like a new band or something?
Mhm.
And it's,
The lyrics, they hit hard, bro.
they do, they sure do. I mean, they hit you in your feels. But so and also talking about that more grungy feeling, Redundant is another great song.
Yeah.
This is a little bit of a less popular one, but I think this song has that. It's got that crunch,
Yeah, it's still loud, but it's almost still soft. It's
It's-
louder. It's a heavier riff, or it's like and
Yeah.
it just he kind of. And another thing with the lead singer Billy Joe Armstrong, his voice, he'd been taking voice lessons long time. Singing lessons. He's always been good at singing and whatnot.
Yeah.
I think it's an interesting approach that, he fell into grunge because he
Exactly.
I mean, he grew up in I think he was born in '69, so he grew up '70s and '80s.
Crazy time.
I know.
Yeah, I
Literally.
mean that's definitely if you're taking singing lessons, that's not really the the genre you would go into.
Yeah, I feel like if you were doing singing lessons, it'd be like do re mi fa sol la ti do.
Yeah. Well, and as they progress, they make an album. Let's see, 7 years later, called American Idiot. In this album, they gravitate. They still have kind of that grunge feeling to them, but they gravitate to more of a
Dramatic, heavier,
exactly.
almost like
For
I hate
sure.
everything kind of deal.
But
Yeah.
It's to attack the '90s and '80s teenagers.
Exactly. And it also has some of that kind of storytelling esque feeling to it. Like some modern rap songs do today. They just like kind of try to tell a story. That's kind of what they're doing in this album.
Crazy Story, King Von.
Exactly.
Hey, I
Exactly.
remember that song. That song's a good song.
So with their first song on the album, they had American Idiot. And this song, it tells a great story. I mean, it still has those good, Green Day aspects to it that make it just a satisfying kind of song to listen to.
Yeah,
But-
it's just catchy and you hear it and you're like, oh, that's Green Day. Like
Yeah,
that's their
exactly.
most. This
hear it.
album helped project Green Day up there. That's how they got. That's how they exploded.
You hear it
Exactly.
and you don't want to be an American idiot. You know that? You
Yeah.
listen to that and you're like,
Yeah,
I
Yeah, I
don't
mean,
want to.
he's sitting
I
there
don't wanna
talking
be one
about.
either.
He's sitting there talking about everybody. He's talking about you could say it's derogatory, but rednecks,
Yeah.
and the whole other side, opposite, and he's just talking about I don't want to be an American. I don't want to be
Yuckies.
like everyone else.
Like a
if that
sheep.
makes it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
a sheep. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And the whole album tells a story throughout this guy's life. Not Billy's, but, a made-up guy.
Yeah.
And at the end of American Idiot, it's talking about homecoming, what's her name, about a girl he doesn't even remember anymore.
Yeah.
But towards the beginning of the album, that's all it's about. It's about that girl, and then slowly he grows up.
So it's like kind of like telling a story, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
At the
Yeah.
entire album.
And another one, Jesus of Suburbia. This is a long song. but,
Long.
it just tells, the story, and it's
I mean, it carries on because, it's talking about, Jesus of Suburbia. It's about a troubled kid,
yeah.
got heartbroke. I mean, if you could, so it's a 10-minute song. If you could, it's broken up into 5 parts. It's like the Bohemian Rhapsody of punk rock,
And it
of
sounds,
alternative.
It almost sounds like the different parts are like different songs that they
Yeah,
put into
dude.
one.
For
It's-
sure, yeah.
We listened to it. I got him to listen to it yesterday.
Yeah.
But dude, it's I've always loved that song. I'll listen every minute's worth it.
It is, and I can attest to that.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, just a great band that has so much diversity in all their different albums. I mean, is there any last words you want to say about this band that just make it great?
It's just original. They're their
Very
own band. They're not. There's no other band that is like them.
Yeah.
Oh,
will say.
I would like to say there's one more album where it's just completely different, off the wall. Revolution Radio.
Okay.
That's where they start. They kind of get you a higher pitched riff where it's like it's way faster paced. The whole album's like it. It doesn't range in the album. Well, I mean, there's a few songs in there that range, but you got Revolution Radio. I'm trying to think. What's that other one? Like the. Oh man, I have to go look. We're gonna have to cut this out.
Yeah, I haven't listened much of Revolution Radio, but I sure want to.
Yeah, it's good. It's very very fast paced. You know, it's not so dramatic. Another good album is 21st Century Breakdown. That's a very dramatic
Oh
album.
yeah, okay.
But it's more aggressive than, Love Struck, Heartbroken Teen, Troubled Teen or whatever. It's
Or
about
like a mad teen.
It's like
yeah, just aggressive, But it's about
raging
love.
20-year-old.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I think that sums up the episode for the most part. Thank you all for listening, and we're gonna tune out.
Tuning out.